What we saw in median price growth in Sydney in that particular time was 154%. But if we go back and look at history and we look at kind of what happened in Sydney, the population growth was about 12% over that sort of 10-year time horizon. When the Sydney Olympics was announced, it was 2021, I think Brisbane was, the Olympics were kind of announced. So we're just into that sort of journey as we go to 2032. And so what we saw in median price growth in Sydney in that particular time was 154%. So we use, obviously, no one knows what's going to happen in the future, but obviously there's precedent in history where we've seen it in Sydney, we've seen it in Beijing, we've also seen it in London, and how house prices have done during that sort of time. So with all this money going in, it's clearly going to be good for the economy. So the Olympic Stadium is going to be built in Vic Park. It's a long, drawn-out story in Brisbane. Initially, we were kind of looking at the Gabba and doing a sort of rejuvenation of that site. That got binned by Labor, and then there was talk, and it was crazy talk, but they were looking at Mount Gravatt for a period. There's no way you could have the Olympic. That would have been a disaster, I think.
Where was that coming from? That's crazy.
They were talking about there weren't enough funds to build the stadium, and it was just back and forth. And so they were looking at current sites and not wanting to spend too much money. Then Mount Gravatt got banded around, and sort of living not too far away from Mount Gravatt myself and going past it on the way to Garden City sometimes. Yeah, there's no way you could have that as the Olympic Stadium.